Hello everyone, Professor Sanford here. I'm just going to go through a quick example of how to use the JOptionPane in the javax.swing. This will pop up a small GUI, just a standard GUI that gives you an opportunity to take input and provide messages. So it has some standard classes and components to it. Let me go ahead and just start with a new project. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm using Apache NetBeans. And then for the project name, I'm just going to leave it alone and let it store wherever it's going to store, because I'm just wanting to show this example. Okay, so like with most IDEs, they're going to give you some help. It's an integrated development environment. That's what NetBeans is. I like to clean up a lot of this parts here. Gives me something to start with. And of course, since we're going to be using javax.swing.JOptionPane as the class that we're going to be using the methods from. And the class name is going to be the same as the file. So if you want to change it, you can change it here and there. These warnings that you'll see in NetBeans, this is just saying I haven't used the import yet. If I change the name of the class here, it would pop up something saying that it's not the same name as the file. So those are just some warnings for you. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just start configuring everything. I'm going to get a first number variable, and I'll set it equal to JOptionPane dot, and this gives you the methods. Most IDEs will do this. And then I'll put show input dialog, make sure it's in there. And I can double click it, or I can go ahead and type it in. What I want to put in here is whatever text I want to see beside the input box. So enter first integer. Okay, so that should give us the text box and the label for it, the text beside it. And what I normally do, I'm going to do the second number, but what I normally do is just copy and paste that and then change just what I need to change. So I'll change this to second number and change this to second integer. And then what I will do is this is a teaching lesson here, because when you get the input from a show input dialog from JOptionPane, it is in a string format. That's the only way you can get it. So you're going to need to cast it to an integer data type. So let's create a couple of integer variables to use this for. And what you'll do is you'll use the integer class, parse int, and then give it the first number. So what this is going to do is going to take this first number, whatever the user input. When you do this JOptionPane show input dialog, and whatever the user inputs here, that result comes back and is stored into the first number string object or string variable. And then you're going to use that here as the argument for integer. It'll take this string, that's whatever the contents are here, and store it, then cast it as an integer. And then this result, once this on the right-hand side of the equal sign is evaluated, it will store that result into number 1. So whatever the user input, say they input the number 5 here. It comes in as a string data type. We convert it to integer, and so that the integer data type of 5 is now stored in number 1. I'll do something very similar for the second number. Just copy and paste that. Change my variable name to number 2. And then here I'll do second number. Okay, and then all I really need to do now, I've got my two numbers from the user input. All I need to do now is create another variable and take number 1, add it to number 2. And so that gives me the sum of those two. Then I need to display that, and I want to display it in my GUI in a message box. So I'll do another JOptionPane.show message dialog. You can see it's part of the drop down here. I want the one that has where I can add an icon at the end. So that should be, let's see, I have this one, this one, this one, this one. Actually, message type, not the icon specifically. It's this one. So what I'll do first is just say null. It's not on, oops, it's not on top of another panel. So I'll just do null here. I will add some string here where I say the sum is, and then concatenate the variable sum to that. And then under this third one, it's interesting because this is the title of the box. It's in the third field. So this will be what you'll see at the top of the GUI. And then the final part I want to do here, I'm going to take JOptionPane and create an information message. There's different types of messages you can use here. Question, error message, warning message, those types of things. I'm just going to do an information message, and that's going to give me, and I can add an icon also if I wanted to use that constructor of the show message dialog, but I'm not worried about that here. So that's it. And now we should be able to run this and see the GUI. So it gives you this small JOptionPane GUI. It says enter the first integer. It automatically gives me a question mark icon for this because we're asking for something. So I'm going to just put in 10, click OK. It brings up a second one, and I can put, say, 5 in it. Click OK, and I get this message box at the end. Informational, the sum is 15. Okay, and see, here's where the sum of two integers is located. This is because it's an information message. And then this is the output that you see using the sum variable. Okay, so that's a real simple use of JOptionPane. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will try to make some more for you. Bye.